I met this guy Smitty, and through an ad, and he introduced me to Anthony.
Yeah, I met Betty through a mutual friend, and I just got it in my head one day I wanted to be a singer in a band. I was already like 20 years old, never played before, and she put an ad in.
For some reason, Anthony asked that his name be Tony on the flyers because he didn't want anyone to know it was him, or he was trying to start a band or whatever.
I was embarrassed, because I didn't know what I was doing. So we were gonna meet in a warehouse in Hialeah, and it was Betty, myself, and Smitty, and here comes this kid with glasses and his hair pulled back, and he's looking at him. It's like, all right, what's, we didn't know what we had in common, and he got on guitar and started shredding. With my limitations, on guitar, it's like, well, I'm not gonna be able to do anything that complex. We didn't want to do anything like that, like death metal or anything from the beginning.
I think we were looking for something just different,
more
of a powerful drummer. Yeah. Betty, it's definitely what we were looking for.
I think she understood from the beginning, so there wasn't none of the, well, try this band out and listen to these guys, and this is what we're trying to do. She already knew ahead of time.
Right.
So it just, just fell in perfectly at the time.
You could totally see what she did. Like, you can hear it, like just her style of drumming and everything.
We did a couple shows.
Like locally.
Yeah.
We weren't like, it wasn't like a business thing, or it was just all about just pleasing ourselves, in fact,
Nothing contrived about it. It was just really something that we wanted to hear, We wanted to just do something, again, powerful and what we thought was beautiful, and, it evoked something,
I was going to school. It was just not the kind of thing that would have worked out well because I wasn't here all the time. I couldn't practice, but like 3 or 4 times a year or something.
Always mentioned, Steve and Anthony, and how the band had certain like a characteristic that was like different than anything else that I would even have been aware of. I think it wasn't too much longer before we got together to start practicing. Yeah. We set up in my parents' house in Kendall, and they had redone the garage. And I remember meeting Betty there for the first time as well.
We kept bouncing back a little bit like between the drummers.
A little bit of a mix.
Yeah, because Betty
in early days
recorded some of Jeff's house, Chelsea Girl Blues. We recorded a bunch of songs.
Well, there was, I guess, a couple of years where I was still there, right?
Yeah.
Before I left in '94 to go to Atlanta, and for a while we were just playing shows in Gainesville. Just me and Steve would drive down, Anthony would drive up, and we would meet in Gainesville. And I guess that's how the whole rumor about Gainesville being our hometown started.
We're getting ready to record the record. We had the songs ready, and the actual song Dub really wasn't a complete song. All right, it was just kind of like a riff idea. When we got to Dub, again, it was a spontaneous thing. feel something emanating from it. So much that these like metal guys had come into the engineers room, and we were done. The engineer was like, "Those guys, man," they walked around like, "What the fuck is this?" Man, when we were done with it, we were done with the record, we thought, we were really happy with it, the sound of it. There were a couple songs Steve was starting to, work with melody instead of screaming. And that's what sunk it, because we sent it to Brad at Rhetoric Records, and he's like, "Well, a couple songs aren't heavy enough." And we're like, "Man, we listened. I mean, we really felt like this would be a great debut album." And with that, it really just we were really dejected by it. And Steve has always wanted to just forget the past, move forward. He's like, "You know what? Fuck it. Let's just do a whole new record." So Dove got shelved, and we came to. This is when he had moved to Atlanta, and we came up here to do the next one, which would become Saturday Night Tears.
We got together and we had the songs, most of them, I mean, I don't think we wrote any songs at that time, right?
I think you and I were writing, getting together.
I had a couple things that I'd worked on.
So we just kind of threw it together.
Yeah, kind of last minute. In the end, though, we just weren't happy with how it all sounded, the production of it.
I thought it just didn't do justice to
the songs.
Yeah.
It was the, from my perspective, listening back to that stuff, I felt like I was in my prime.
Again, we had another full-length record shelved.
Collecting dust.
Yeah, so all this material, just sitting to the wayside.
We would still play, shows from time to time again, but it wasn't. There was never like a moment where we were like, that's it or anything. It was just like longer and longer separations, I guess, between doing things.
I mean, we did like one tour of the East Coast in '96. It was like a week long.
That meant it was a struggle.
Yeah, and it was just basically playing in front of
The band, the other band, yeah.